Krishna said, "He who performs all his duties without expecting the fruits of his actions is a sannyasi and a yogi both. The one who has merely abandoned the sacred fire and the one who has given up performing actions is neither a sannyasi nor a yogi." Sannyasi, renouncer. O Pandava, what people call as sannyasa, know it to be yoga, because nobody can become a yogi without sacrificing his sankalpas. Sankalpas, worldly intentions. For the sage who wishes to ascend in yoga, selfless action is said to be the means for him. For the same sage, when he is established in yoga, giving up all his sankalpas, is said to be the beneficial means. When a person does not have any attachment for the sense objects or for the actions and has given up all his sankalpas, then he is said to have attained yoga. One should uplift the self by the efforts of his own mind, and not by allowing the self to degrade itself, for the self alone is one's own friend as well as its enemy. The one who has won over the mind, to him the mind is a friend. But for the one whose mind is not yet won by the self, to him the mind acts like an enemy. The one who has won over his mind, and whose peace remains equally unaffected by the pairs of opposites, such as heat and cold, pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor, such self-controlled sage is rooted in the Supreme Self. The one who is content with the knowledge of the self and the practical wisdom of life, whose senses are completely under control, and to whom a lump of earth, a stone, and gold are the same, he is said to be a yogi. The one who looks with an equal eye upon the well-wishers and the neutrals, the friends and the enemies, the middlemen, the relatives and the hypocrites, the good as well as the wrongdoers, he stands supreme. Living in solitude all by himself, the yogi who has controlled his mind and body and is free from desires and the sense of possession should constantly engage his mind in meditation. Having chosen a clean spot covered with a grass mat, a deer skin and a cloth, one upon the other, neither too high nor too low, maintaining a firm posture, occupying that seat with one-pointed mind, and controlling the functions of the mind and senses, one should practice yoga for self-purification. Self-purification. Holding the body, head and neck erect, remaining firm and fixing the gaze on the tip of the nose, without looking in other directions, being calm-minded, fearless, firm in the vow of celibacy, the yogi should sit devoted to me, with his mind fixed on me. Thus, always keeping the mind balanced, that yogi, with disciplined mind, attains eternal peace, which resides in me. O Arjuna, this yoga is not possible for the one who overeats or who observes complete fast. It is neither for the one who sleeps too much or who is always awake. Yoga becomes the destroyer of pain for him who is moderate in eating and recreation, performs actions appropriately, and is regulated in sleep and wakefulness. When his disciplined mind gets fixed in nothing but the self, then being free from all desires, he is said to be established in yoga. Just like a flame does not flicker in a windless place, similarly, the state of mind of the yogi who is practicing yoga becomes steady while meditating on God. When the mind is controlled through the practice of yoga, it becomes completely peaceful, and when the self is realized by meditating upon the self, the soul rejoices in the self alone. When a yogi experiences that absolute bliss, which is beyond the senses and can be grasped only by the purified intellect, being established in that yogi never moves away from the truth. Having attained which, there remains no greater gain, and established in which he is not shaken even by the heaviest of sorrows. That state should be known as yoga, which causes an end to the misery. This yoga should be practiced with determination and a non-depressed mind. Completely giving up all desires arising from sankalpas and restricting all the senses by the mind from all sides, one should gradually withdraw himself from the world with the help of intellect, held by firm determination. Then, fixing the mind on the self, he should not think of anything else. Drawing back the restless and unsteady mind from all those objects after which it runs, one should repeatedly fix it on the self alone. Supreme bliss comes to the yogi whose mind is peaceful, who is sinless, whose quality of rajas has been settled, and who has become one with the Brahma. Thus, always united with the self, free from sin, a yogi easily enjoys the eternal bliss of oneness with the Brahman. The one who is united with the omnipresent universal self sees his own self in all beings, and all beings as his own self. He looks on everything with an impartial eye. The one who sees me present in all beings, and all beings existing within me, he never goes out of my sight, nor do I ever go out of his sight. The yogi who is established in union with me and worships me as residing in all beings, he performs all the actions while being in me. O Arjuna, the one who sees joy and sorrow as the same in all beings, after knowing that the self alone is present everywhere, that yogi is regarded as the highest. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, due to the restlessness of my mind, I am unable to see the way to achieve stability in this yoga of equanimity, which you have just spoken of. For, O Krishna, this restless and unstable mind is stubborn and powerful. I consider it as difficult to control as controlling the wind. Lord Krishna said, O Mahabaho, no doubt the mind is restless and difficult to control. But, O Kaunteya, it can be controlled with practice and dispassion. I agree that yoga is difficult to attain by the one whose mind is uncontrolled. However, it can be easily attained through practice by the one who has his mind under control and is continuously making efforts. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what happens to the person who has faith but has not been able to control his mind, and who is therefore diverted from yoga and thus fails to attain the perfection in yoga? O Mahabaho, diverted from the path leading to self-realization and without any support, is he not lost like the scattered cloud, deprived of both self-realization and worldly enjoyments? O Krishna, please remove this doubt of mine completely, for none other than you can eliminate this doubt. Lord Krishna said, O Partha, there is certainly no fall for such a person, neither in this world nor hereafter, for no one who walks the path of good ever meets an evil destiny. Having attained the worlds of the righteous and residing there for eternal years, the man fallen from yoga is born again in the house of the pious and the prosperous. Or, if he is dispassionate, then not attaining to these, he is born in the family of enlightened yogis. But such a birth in this world is very difficult to obtain. O Kurunandana, then he automatically regains the knowledge that he had acquired in his previous birth and further strives more than before to attain perfection in yoga. The other one, who takes birth in a rich family, though under the sway of his senses, gets drawn towards me by the power of practice acquired by him in his previous birth. The seeker of yoga reaches beyond the result born of performing Vedic rituals. However, the yogi who dedicatedly practices, he attains perfection in this very lifetime with the help of knowledge acquired in previous lifetimes. Thus, being free from sin, he reaches the supreme state. A yogi is superior to those who do penance, to the scholars well versed with the scriptures, and also to those who perform action with some interested motive. Therefore, O Arjuna, become a yogi. Of all yogis, the devoted one who worships me with full faith, with his mind fixed on me, he is the best of all according to me.